When you enter a gun shop and spot the cheap hunting rifles all piled up on the shelves, you will wonder if they are so affordable. Why hasn't anyone bought them? Why are they left behind, even with a price tag that makes you look twice? Maybe they are not as good as they should be, or maybe they are unreliable. Whatever the reason, let's have a look at those cheap hunting rifles that are being ignored despite being low on price and discover what makes them left behind while others fly off the racks quickly. Number 7. Remington 770. If you are in a market, there is a chance you will spot a Remington 770 sitting quietly in the corner. Looking at its cheap price, you will want to get your hands on it, but it is better to leave it where it is. This thing is known to have feeding issues, and rounds can also jam into the chamber halfway, so you have to struggle trying to clear a jam instead of pulling the trigger, which could definitely miss your shot. Then comes the bolt, which feels sticky and hard to work, making it difficult to make quick follow-up shots. The magazine design is not great either, as the metal feed lips don't have a spring, so they bend easily, creating more feeding problems. The magazine release is also a trouble sometimes. It doesn't hold the magazine in place and can cause the magazine to drop out, leading to more feeding problems. What adds to the frustration is the barrel that is pressed in too tightly, making chambering rounds harder. The built quality of this rifle has also been criticized due to the use of plastic in the bolt shroud and other parts that can wear out with time, making it less durable. What good is a rifle if it's not safe? The bolt on the Remington 770 comes apart, and if there is a round in the chamber, it becomes a safety hazard for the shooter and anyone nearby. So, yeah, the Remington 770 might not be a costly firearm, but it can cost you headaches and issues in the field. Number 6. Ruger American Rifle. Do you feel tempted by the Ruger American Rifle's low price tag but wonder why it is still sitting on the shelf? Here is why. Some of the older models of this rifle have the rotary-style magazine, which can cause rounds to jam and get stuck halfway through their turn into the chamber, making things worse. There is also a problem with the fit of the magazine even in newer models, which doesn't lock properly. The magazine on the Ruger American can sometimes interfere with the bolt, stopping it from closing all the way and keeping the next round from chambering properly. Then there is the durability concern, as the magazine release is made of plastic that breaks, making your magazine drop at the worst possible time. The stock is another concern and is not free-floated in some of the models, which makes the barrel touch the stock, contributing to inconsistent accuracy. The trigger is known to have a long, squishy pull with a bit of creep before it finally breaks, making it harder to stay right on target. Ever struggled to line up your shot with a low cheek piece? That's exactly how the Ruger American Rifle is built. With a low cheek piece, it makes it harder to get a steady shot, contributing to inconsistent accuracy. And when it comes to firepower, the included magazine comes with a low capacity, so you have to reload your rifle again and again. Even grabbing a spare one is not a solution because they aren't cheap and will cost you a lot. All these issues make hunters walk right past it on the shelf, no matter how tempting the price tag looks. Number 5. Savage Axis. The Savage Axis is another budget hunting rifle that comes with a lot of problems. First off, the trigger is miserable, which tends to have a long pull instead of breaking clean and crisp. It's also heavier, so you have to put in more effort to get the shot to break. The safety is also a bit stubborn and might feel stiff and hard to disengage, so you end up missing your shot. And sometimes the safety flips itself to the off position without anyone touching it, which might cause accidental discharges, which is definitely a big safety concern. There are also ejection problems where the casing just drops lazily or stays stuck, so you have to stop and pull it out yourself, making you slow down at the worst moment. The safety lever is also a bit awkward. It can feel out of easy reach and not as smooth to operate, making it a real headache when you are lining up a shot. The Savage Axis is also known to deliver inconsistent accuracy and poor grouping, even after trying different ammunition, leaving you guessing where that next shot will land. The stock on this rifle is also poorly designed, with the grip too long, making it awkward to hold, while the finish also looks cheap, making it less enjoyable to shoot. So yes, this rifle is not ignored because of the cheap price, but it's the issues that make hunters think twice before picking it up. Number 4. Mossberg ATR. Ever encountered a Mossberg ATR and its price tag catches your eye? Don't get too excited. Many hunters are passing it by due to some issues. First off, this rifle comes with feeding and ejection issues as the spent casings sometimes refuse to eject properly, which is definitely not fun in the middle of the hunt. Then there is the bolt, which sometimes fails to lock in perfectly, which is not exactly comforting when there is a live round in the chamber. The trigger is also unpredictable, which sometimes doesn't reset properly, making shooting less reliable. The stock is also uncomfortable, making handling less natural and precise. The rifle is also less durable and uses plastic for parts like the sling mounts, trigger guard, and magazine floor plate, which wear out quickly compared to the metal parts. Scope mount is another concern which have been reported to loosen over time, especially with rough handling or after extended use. Planning on firing multiple rounds without a break? Know that the barrel on this rifle heats up quickly, which could affect your comfort and accuracy. Then come the trigger problems, especially when the trigger is adjusted to a lighter setting. The firing pin doesn't always engage consistently, leading to misfires, so you cannot trust your rifle when you need it. The Mossberg ATR is a rifle that won't cost you much when buying, but might end up costing you in headaches later on. Number 3. Thompson Center Venture. If you have ever seen a Thompson Center Venture sitting on the rack with a tempting price tag and wondered why hunters aren't rushing to grab it, here is why. Back in 2011, this rifle had its first issue where the sear could cause the rifle to fire without the trigger being pulled. Imagine you are just carrying your rifle and suddenly your gun goes off on its own. Dangerous, right? Then in 2013, there was another recall with the safety lever that wouldn't fully engage when you tried to switch it on, which is not safe as it could have an accidental discharge anytime. The trigger is also known to be unpredictable. Then comes the extraction issues as the spent casings don't leave the chamber and get stuck, so you have to struggle with the bolt every time you line up your shot. Another issue reported was with the factory-installed scope bases, which came loose over time, messing up your accuracy. The bolt on this rifle also seizes up after just a few shots, which would be frustrating if it does in the middle of the hunt. Don't you think the 2 safety-related recalls in just a couple of years are more than enough to lose trust in a weapon? So, no matter how cheap the rifle is, it cannot be trusted by hunters and is left sitting on the shelves. Number 2. Savage Model 340. Ever spot a Savage Model 340 sitting on a rack with a price tag that makes you want to buy it immediately? Don't rush to get it, because so many hunters are walking right past it due to some issues. First off, the bolt on this rifle is not smooth, so don't expect it to be nice like those of modern rifles. It's stiff and awkward to operate, making follow-up shots slow and frustrating. Then comes the feeding problems due to a lack of a feed ramp, so it jams a lot, making it super frustrating. Some rifles even fire unexpectedly when you open or close the bolt because of the firing pin that doesn't always stay cocked. This rifle also has ejection problems due to a weak ejector spring, so you might need to remove the spent shells by hand, something which is not ideal when you are trying to take a shot in a stressful situation. And if you are the kind of shooter who likes to experiment with different loads, you are going to be stuck with it because the ammo choices are pretty limited with this rifle as it can't accept longer bullets. The magazine system is also a headache. With weak springs that don't push the rounds up properly and feed lips that can easily get out of alignment, you have to struggle to feed it correctly. Another frustrating thing is the mounting scope that doesn't come with a proper scope mounting system, so the scope ends up slightly off to the side if you get one on in there, which messes with your sight picture. Sure, the Savage 340 is cheap, but with all these issues, it's better to invest a little more in something that is truly reliable when you need it the most. Number 1. H&R 1871 Ultra Rifle. The H&R 1871 Ultra is one of those rifles that is hard to resist because of its simple design and cheap price, but here are a few things due to which it's sitting quietly on the shelves. Its ejection system is a real headache because the spent casings don't come out easily, and sometimes you have to remove those by hand, which is a bit frustrating when you're trying to line up a follow-up shot. Then there is the trigger with a heavy 6-pound brake, so you have to put more effort into pulling the trigger than focusing on your shot. And don't expect customization with this rifle because the barrel is not designed for easy swaps, and you won't have the upgrade flexibility as you have with other rifles. When it comes to accuracy, this rifle isn't steady at longer ranges. It might do just fine at shorter ranges, but once you start shooting at longer distances, your shots aren't consistent. And since it's a single-shot rifle, you have to break open the action and reload it every time you fire, slowing up the entire shooting process. So many shooters skip this rifle and prefer buying one that can fire multiple shots quickly. So yes, despite its friendly price tag, these issues are enough to make many hunters think twice before buying it. So saving a few bucks just to have these unreliable rifles is definitely not worth it. And these are the reasons why hunters are walking past it, no matter how tempting the tag looks. Thanks for joining us today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss the exciting videos we have coming up. Thanks for watching and take care.